Welcome to the Eye Test, a fantasy football podcast for those who are tired of hearing boring stats all the time. This is episode 22 and our Week 14 DFS Draft. Let's just jump right into it, but before we do, can you update us on the crop of players and the current standings?
Yeah, so Bob has taken a comfortable lead after another first place finish in Week 13. He has a total of 8 points. I came in second on Week 13. So I got it 1 point, which put me at 4. John already had 4. He came in third this week. And so John and I are tied for either second or third, however you want to look at it, with 4. Bob's in the lead at first. Please feel free to look back at our other TikTok videos to see our teams or look on the YouTube. But just real quick, Bob had a grand total of 101.8 in Week 13. I came in second with 87.7. And John got 58.5. So there was a pretty diversified point total this week. It wasn't really close.
Yeah. I had a lot of injuries. Not fair.
Yeah, and I think I had an injured player. I think John had an injured player. But Bob had Devontae Adams, which that was huge.
That was literally the difference.
Yeah, and you had to have known you won after that game.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw Derek Carr only had, it was like 12 points, but it was because of the pick 6, and that's -6, of course. So I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
It worked out, though.
Yeah, it did.
All worked out.
Paul, how about you go over the players that we have for Week 14?
All right, so after that review of the standings, I'm going to start with the players that carried over from last week. So at the quarterback position, we have Dak Prescott, who was not picked last week, and he is joined by new additions Deshaun Watson, Mike White, and Tyler Huntley. Wow, if you would have told me that our quarterback group would have been 2 backups and a rapist, allegedly, I wouldn't believe you.
We know Paul's not picking Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely not. So at the running back position, the 4 guys that carried over last week are Jeff Wilson, Zonovan Bam Bam Knight, A.J. Dillon, who is on a bye. And I wish John didn't write it in there because I was hoping somebody would have picked him. But that's in there. And then Gus Edwards. And then our new additions are Isaiah Pacheco, Tony Jones. For those who don't know, he is a Seattle Seahawk. Because I didn't know that until 10 minutes before recording. Yeah. Jamal Williams, the touchdown machine. Devin single-digit Singletary. Tony Pollard. The giant killer himself, Boston Scott, and James Cook, little brother of Dalvin. At the tight end position, carrying over is Foster Moreau of the Oakland Raiders, Vegas Raiders. Sorry. And new additions, wow. Travis Kelce makes his debut. Mark Andrews makes his debut. And then Evan Ingram.
It's nice because all year since we've started these DFS drafts, we've been holding back on like the stud tight ends, and out of nowhere, me and Bobby just pick 2 stud tight ends without telling each other.
But funny enough, both of them are actually coming off like pretty mediocre games for their standards. So maybe they both rebound, or maybe they both continue being mediocre.
So fun fact, the Ravens have not scored a touchdown in the first, second, or third quarter in 3 games.
What?
Yeah.
Ew.
I know, it's disgusting. I probably shouldn't have told you that because one of you idiots are going to take Mark Andrews with the first pick. But he's still actually a pretty solid play against Pittsburgh. He and Huntley have a good thing going. But anyway, I digress. Wide receiver position, we had 3 gentlemen carry over with us, and that is Elijah Moore, Treylon Burks, and Jacoby Myers. And our new additions are Marquise Hollywood Brown, Christian Kirk, Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Michael Gallup, A.J. Brown, and Deebo Samuel. What's a decent crop?
A lot of Jets this week. 4 Jets. Mike White, Zonovan Bam, Elijah Moore, and Garrett Wilson. Wow. So are we ready to do the draft order then?
Yeah, let's hit that draft order.
So we're all itching on who gets Travis Kelce.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do it 3 times, and I haven't done it yet. So here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Paul, John, Bob.
Ugh.
Is that the same order as last week?
No, I had second last week.
Okay, cool. I think I had first. No, I had last. All right, cool. So, Paul, did you have first last week?
Yes, I believe so.
Did.
And he picked Chubb, and Chubb did pretty much nothing.
Yeah. He got me 8 points.
All right, so Paul, John, and Bob. Paul, whenever you're ready, you can draft Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I'm ready. And so I'll take Travis Kelce.
Smart move, Paul.
You know, it was really between him and Boston Scott.
All right, so Travis Kelce joins your team, which takes him
I don't think I need to explain that one.
I'm wondering if I need to. I don't think I need to reach for Mark Andrews here, so I'm going to try and go after a running back or a wide receiver. I think it makes the most sense right now to go after A.J. Brown, but Tony Pollard against the Texans. Yeah, let's go with Tony Pollard against the Texans. I think the Eagles are going to run the ball a lot against the Giants. I'll have an A.J. Brown cool-down game, and Tony Pollard against the Texans sounds pretty nice.
I like that. That was a good pick, John.
Was that because of our TikTok, John? Is that what?
Oh, no, I have him in a couple other leagues, or in one league, he's a beast, and he carried Nick's team to a victory over Matt's team last week, so.
That's true.
I'm going to go with Tony Pollard.
Very good. And he's untouchable.
He is untouchable. All right. So that brings it to I. And I don't think there's much of a debate here. I'm going to go with the only guy that can match up with Travis Kelce at the tight end position, and Mark Andrews, obvious pick here. Tyler Huntley likes Mark Andrews, especially since Mark Andrews is pretty much the only relevant pass catcher on the Ravens. So pretty easy pick for me here. I know the Steelers have been a little better recently, but expect Mark Andrews to have a better game than he had last week.
Wow, I had a feeling Mark Andrews would make it back to me in the second round, but...
Really? Who did you think that I would
go? Mark Andrews, we've been calling him a stud all year. I don't know if he's been like a stud.
He's been majorly disappointing.
Yeah. So I was just surprised that he went first round.
Who did you think, because I have the wraparound, obviously, too.
Yeah.
Who did you think that I could have taken two players aside from him?
I don't know if I want to say because I want him, but I think you could have gone with the wide receiver position and grabbed someone nice, which you're probably going to do now. So
I don't know.
I thought you were going to double down on wide receiver is what I thought.
No, that strategy has worked out for me, but I can't do it right now. Right now, honestly, it's between A.J. Brown and Jamal Williams for me, believe it or not.
Yeah, those are good picks.
Those are?
I'm really worried about the A.J. Brown cooldown game because he's one of those guys, as great as he is and as good as he's been this year in spurts for the Eagles. He has some duds on his season, a few actually, and it's very rare that a guy duplicates the type of game he had last week. Giants secondary isn't terrible. They don't give up a lot of points to the wide receiver position off the top of my head. And Minnesota, their defense is a little sus. And Jamal Williams does be getting those goal line carries. So I am going Jamal Williams.
Wow. And you saw that DeAndre Swift questionable tag again, dude. It's like it never stopped showing up. It's so annoying.
Dude, instead of putting like a C for captain on his jersey, they should just put a Q for questionable all the time.
That's good. So Jamal Williams, honestly, two picks I did not think Bobby was going to do happen.
I was hoping Jamal Williams would fall to me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I still got a couple people in mind.
The wide receiver position is much deeper this week. Like, you could get some good value this week, so I'm not in a rush to pick receivers.
Yeah. So I am in a rush now that it's the second round, and he's still on the board, I'm going to get A.J. Brown here. He's the number 5 wide receiver this year, and he's definitely the number 1 look for Jalen Hurts. I'm hoping that this is more of like a reception game for A.J. Brown, like 5 catches for 100 yards or something like that.
Is there such a thing as a reception game for A.J. Brown?
He doesn't have like double-digit receptions, but he like hangs out in the 5 or 6 range.
Do you consider that, serious question, do you consider that like a lot of receptions in a game?
No, I don't. I would not call someone like a PPR. Paul, what's the word that we've been using for PPR hog? No, there's another word that we've been using.
Like a target
PPR,
hog?
PPR machine or target hog, yeah.
Yeah,
I would not
PPR
consider
machine.
that like a PPR machine.
I'd say you're like a PPR monster machine if you're like in the 7 to 8 range.
Yes, agreed.
AJ, like I said, very good receiver, but always concerns me if he doesn't get that big play.
Yeah, we're going to have to go deep to AJ Brown.
He's definitely not a volume receiver.
Mm-hmm. Paul, were you going to take AJ Brown if I didn't?
I was.
Yeah, I figured.
I was indeed.
I knew he wasn't going to make it back to me, so I figured I'd make him untouchable.
Yeah, no, that was a good pick, John. And now it gets a little interesting. I am leaning towards a receiver here as my. Now, this is crucial because the person I draft here cannot be grabbed.
Yep.
But my next pick can be.
Oh, yeah. It starts coming into play now, Paul. Big decision here for you.
Big decision. So right now, honestly, I'm torn between a couple guys that are all falling in the same tier, and it's Treylon Burks, Debo, Amari Cooper, and Christian Kirk. Like, I have no clue who's going to have a better day. Christian Kirk, Tennessee's defense, I know they just got shit on by Philly, but they're usually like pretty good and don't allow more than 20 points to the opposing teams. Amari Cooper has a rapist throwing to him.
Wow.
Allegedly. Debo Samuel has been dookie cheeks, and they have Mr. Relevant in, who's actually pretty good. And then there's Treylon Burks, who's just sitting there staring me in the face. He is in concussion protocol. Joe Mixon was on concussion protocol and did not play. So last thing I want to do is sink an untouchable pick with somebody who's not going to play.
Well,
so
Paul,
what?
You got to make a decision.
I know, dude. This is so tough. I have no idea what to do. You know what? Fuck it. Garrett Wilson in Buffalo.
Wow.
I like Garrett Wilson. I don't know if I definitely wouldn't have taken him second, but
he's playing extremely well.
I think he's getting more respect now as he's started to come back after the whole Zach Wilson bullshit. But he's still somewhat underrated for what he is. He's going to be like next year, I think he's going to be drafted easily as like a wide receiver too. And maybe not a high-end wide receiver too, but for sure like a mid-range wide receiver too.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do him, and then, it's my turn again.
So Garrett Wilson untouchable now.
Yeah, so Garrett Wilson and Travis Kelce are locked for me. Everybody else is up for grabs. So what I'm going to do, you know what, fuck it. Give me Jeff Wilson. Is he hurt?
No, he's practicing fully.
Okay. Give me Jeffy.
And you can't take it back after you say it.
I know. I have a bad habit of like saying somebody and then
like, oh, I didn't see this guy.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with Jeff Wilson, but I'm also like not going to lose any sleep if somebody takes him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a reason to draft a player, but
so Jeff Wilson. So I want Isaiah Pacheco right now because after he gets taken, running backs are pretty slim, and I feel like I could probably go another round with those wide receivers available, and I don't have to worry about any other tight ends. I'm probably going to end up getting Foster. But the thing that sucks is Isaiah Pacheco is a huge target to get stolen. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draft Dak Prescott against the Texans. Yeah.
Really?
I'm going to draft Dak Prescott against the Texans. They the Cowboys scored like 54 points against the Colts, and Dak was still like barely a QB2, I think. I think he's had like 15 points.
You're not worried about it just being basically a Zeke and Tony Pollard game?
No, I'm not.
You are.
I think it's
John's
gonna.
like, well,
I think
now I am.
I think it's gonna be a CeeDee Lamb game, and
Oh.
I think it's gonna be total domination again. The Cowboys are cooking right now.
They are.
So Dak Prescott, you're gonna be my quarterback. I feel bad he didn't get drafted last week, so I'm gonna give him a chance to prove the doubters wrong. So Bobby, you are up.
It gets really tough here because
it's tough with the steal and everything because you don't want to pick someone that you know is going to probably get stolen, but at the same time, you got to draft your best team.
Yeah.
You can't play scared. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm not going to play scared. So, I'm playing to win, and I'm not picking fucking Mike White in the third round because no one's going to try and steal him or anything. Oh, I missed a couple guys on the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go. That's so stupid. I know he's going to get stolen. Like, it's so dumb. Actually, no, I'm not going to go in.
Just do it.
I don't want to. All right, fuck it. I'm taking Pacheco.
All right.
Against Denver. And John's like, all right, I'm going to steal him. Okay.
All right. So, enjoy it, Bob.
Enjoy I have my RB2 who's going to get stolen next round, but at least I'll be able to pick after one of you inevitably steals him from me. So I guess that's a bright side, is that you don't have to wait on the wraparound, which is good. So we set it up somewhat fair. And I'm gonna go Amari Cooper here.
Damn it.
I'm gonna go Amari Cooper
so much harder for me.
I'm not going to tell you why I'm going Amari Cooper because I feel like then it might convince you guys to take him from me or swap him like Paul did last week. And the difference between Pickens and Keenan Allen last week was huge. Even with
I gave you 3 points.
Give me 4. Keenan Allen had 20.
Yeah, it was not fair. It ended up not being even at all.
Yeah, and you guys were like, dude, what? That's fair.
All right, so I'm up. I was going to steal Isaiah Pacheco, but if you didn't draft Amari Cooper, I think I would have taken Amari Cooper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal Amari Cooper from Bob.
Okay.
So Amari Cooper is now on my team, which fills out my wide receiver slots. I have A.J. Brown and Amari Cooper. And Bob gets to pick now that he does not have Amari Cooper anymore. Bob, the pick is yours.
Pick is mine.
And Bob, while you're thinking, I'm curious on why you didn't want to share a stat on Amari Cooper now that he's untouchable.
Now that he's stolen, obviously it doesn't matter now. But Joe Burrow has never beaten the Browns in his career.
Wow, and he's beaten Kansas City 3 times.
Yep. Joe Burrow's never beaten the Browns.
That's crazy.
That was what
I think that changes this week.
So are you saying hammer the Browns this week?
I'm saying that I think Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper will probably link up a little bit more this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's back to me now. I'm going to go with Christian Kirk.
Nice. Very good pick. I was eyeing him up.
Yep. I don't know the status of T-Law. I know he's like day-to-day and stuff like that, but I don't even know who the Jags backup is. But Tennessee's pass defense, as we saw last week, is very shitty. So I feel good about Christian Kirk having a solid wide receiver, or I guess in this case, solid wide receiver week. So that moves to Paul then.
Paul, what are you going to do? Are you going to steal?
Paul, what are you going to do, bro?
No, I kind of want to.
I don't think Paul's going to do it.
I kind of want to take Pacheco, but yeah, I just think it's funny that I said you can't hold on to all your power-ups and everybody had a huge cow over that. But I digress. No, this is actually really tough for me. I'm not sure what to do here. Everybody that I'm eyeing up is being taken, which is, can we agree, is like the worst feeling in a real draft? When you have like 4 players queued and you are the 5th pick and those 4 guys just boom, 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 and you're shit, what do I do?
Yeah, and then the time's clicking down because we have the fastest draft clock ever.
I know, dude. It's crazy.
It's
But I really like Traylon Burks here. The only thing that's holding me back is the concussion. He's shown a lot of talent on display, which is why I do really like him. But I'm going to go with, for literally no reason, Mike Evans.
Wow.
Dude,
he has been getting, I feel like he gets his first target in the third quarter every single game.
So here's the thing about Mike Evans. The San Francisco 49ers are actually giving up the 10th most receiving yards to opposing wide receivers. And Mike Evans has not scored a touchdown since, week 4.
Oh, dude, yeah, he has just been ever since Godwin came back. Godwin's been eating all the targets.
Yeah, so I think Evans is like, listen, Tom, I know you're going through a divorce and all, but I would really like to score a touchdown.
He has a girlfriend now. He doesn't
Who's
care.
hot as hell.
Yeah, he's a baddie.
God, good for him, man. I don't know. Literally no statistical backing to that. I just think Mike Evans is going to score a touchdown this week.
It's the name. It's the name recognition getting you. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So I have Travis Kelce, Garrett Wilson, Jeff Wilson, and Mike Evans. Johnny's got Tony Pollard, A.J. Brown, Dak Prescott, and a stolen Amari Cooper. And then Bob has Mark Andrews, Jamal Williams, Isaiah Pacheco, and Christian Kirk. And then who's left on the board is we have Deshaun Watson, Mike White, Tyler Huntley. Running backs, we have Tony Jones, Devin Singletary, Boston Scott, James Cook, Zonovan Knight, and Gus Edwards. Tight ends, we have Evan Ingram and Foster Moreau. Wide receivers, we have Hollywood Brown, Michael Gallup, Deebo Samuel, Elijah Moore, Traylon Burks, and Jacoby Myers.
Still some high-quality wide receivers on the board right now.
There are. And
are you going to take one of them?
Yeah, I'm going to take Hollywood.
Wow, your arch nemesis.
Dude, that's the thing is you bet with your head, not with your heart. And even though I'm not a big fan of Hollywood, he did handle his exit from Baltimore, I'd say, a little more professionally than a lot of receivers would, where he did keep it in-house. He kept his discretions with the GM, and they handled it pretty well. Hollywood was a good guy on that. And he did come back from injury 2 weeks ago, and then they had their bye. Now, I'm assuming he's full health. It is New England, which scares the shit out of me. And the Cardinals are just a disaster. But why not?
All right, so I'm up now. I really wanted Isaiah Pacheco, and I want him on my team, but I'm not ready to swap any of my players right now.
Oh, John, you best believe any running back that you fucking pick, you're not getting 3 points for Isaiah Pacheco. So, Paul, I'm just prefacing it already. Any one of you that's like 3 points, like, no, absolutely not.
I mean, hey, it's up to the moderator, and I think the moderator has to be fair.
I will be fair.
There can't be any grievances brought into today's discussion from last week.
It's funny that you guys just take players from me, though. No one wants your guys' picks.
It's a good point. I agree.
Yeah, I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, yeah, actually, Bob, I don't blame you.
So I think I'm going to hold off on the running back right now because I don't really care what running back I get. I feel like I need to take advantage of these wide receivers that are still on the board. I do think the Cowboys are going to go off against the Texans. I think drafting Michael Gallup here is a little too risky considering he's like the second look. And honestly, they're probably going to run the ball first before they pass to Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is a touchdown guy. So to really bank that they're going to be throwing to Michael Gallup, granted he could be open, but I think Deebo Samuel right now is the pick that I really like. The bad news is that he has a backup quarterback throwing him the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Traylon Burks.
I hope, John, if he plays, that's a really good pick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had a concussion. He didn't practice today either.
He didn't practice today, and Joe Mixon and somebody else were in similar situations and did not suit up the next week.
Oh, man. Yeah, Treylon Burks is a little risky.
That's the only reason I avoided him. Didn't want to have that 0 in my lineup.
Yep, which I've been prone to do as of late.
You and I both.
Bob, do you want Treylon Burks?
No, John, I don't want Treylon Burks.
John will give you 5 points in Treylon Burks.
No, I know what John's trying to do. John's trying to get me to pick the guy that actually he wants so he could just take him from me.
No, dude. I wouldn't play that game.
John's a little snake.
I wouldn't play that game.
These rules need to be fucking edited.
They definitely need to be refined.
We're fine, dude. The same shit happened last week.
It was only once, though.
You're just salty about Keenan. You literally won, and you're salty about
I know, dude.
So, Bob, who are you in between?
Don't worry about it, John. You're just going to take him anyway.
Oh, no, that's okay. We just have 100 listeners that are probably wondering the same thing.
I don't know who I'm in between.
I actually care who you're thinking about.
I'm going to go with a little dark horse here. I'm going to go with my fucking boy, Zonovan Knight. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going with him.
Okay.
Aside from the fact that he's put up double-digit fantasy points in the past 2 weeks as the Jets lead back. Although Michael Carter is expected to come back this week and be healthy, the Jets have already said that Zonovan Knight's role isn't in jeopardy or anything like that. I think he's shown more than Michael Carter has. And the Bills, last time they played the Jets, they got gashed against the run. So I'm expecting, I don't know if I expect the Jets to win again. Probably not because it's in Buffalo. But I expect Zonovan Knight to have a flex-worthy game this week.
Nice, dude. All right, so you got the 6th pick. We're on the wraparound here.
So who do I got? I got Mark Andrews, Jamal Williams, Pacheco. I'm taking a stack again this week. I'm going Tyler Huntley.
Oh, wow, with Mark Andrews. Very nice. A rushing quarterback. It comes into play for DFS for sure. He had a rushing touchdown last week with like 60 rushing yards.
Pittsburgh has given up a decent amount of points to the quarterback position this year. And even though Tyler Huntley's a backup, he's shown good rapport with Andrews. So I think he could have a solid game this week, especially after taking most of the reps as well.
Nice, Bob. So Tyler Huntley joins your team in the 6th round.
Yeah, don't get too comfortable with Huntley, Bob.
That's fine. Just stacking the good players so you guys could end up – you can only take so many players.
Yeah, very true. So, again, I just don't have my running back slots filled up here. And quite honestly, my options are dwindling. But I think what I need to do is focus on scoring the most points possible. And in order to do that, I think it would make sense, considering this is a PPR league, to swap. Use my flea flicker power up against Paul.
Wow.
Treylon Burks for Marquise Brown.
Dude, you're going to give me injured boy?
Going to give you injured boy, Paul, and I'm willing to give you some points too.
Well, I would sure hope so, because that's all I'm going to get from him.
Hold on. We got to see if it's fair. Let's see. Let's see what the moderator thinks.
So,
if it's anything less than 8.
I was thinking 6.
I think that's way too much.
You think that's way too much? Treylon Burks could lay an egg.
That's not my problem. This is moderator talking.
Oh, my God. John fucked you last week, Bobby, not me.
I think you're spotting 6 points to – I don't know how Marquise Brown has been. Can you guys give me a quick –
He got like 10 points on his first game back.
Okay. And Treylon Burks, what's the latest news?
He missed practice.
He's in concussion protocol, so he's going to be out. He's not going to practice this week.
All right, how about this? Let's make a contingency here. If Treylon Burks doesn't play, I'll give you 8 points. And if he does play, I'll give you 6.
Okay.
If he does play, I think Treylon Burks, if he does play, is just as good as Marquise Brown. So I think you're giving him too many points.
Okay.
But John literally offered it.
Yeah, that is true.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's a moderator.
What?
Yep.
I feel like. Oh, okay. So 5.
The government doesn't come in and be like, "Hey, store, I know you're selling this item for $12.
Yeah. I think Bob. I think you should
We
either.
perceive the value at this. Sell it for this." It's called communism.
I do think that the moderator should only deny it if the points are not enough.
I agree. That is very
makes sense. Makes sense. All right, fine. You guys
very fair of you.
This is your guys' podcast.
So Treylon Burks
for Hollywood.
You're really spotting him 6 points if he plays. That is fucking insane. You guys, oh my God.
I might be a little crazy for doing that.
Dude, this is why you don't win.
Yeah, no, you could be right. You could be
John,
right.
if I didn't say I won't accept anything less than 8, were you like, oh, I gotta go to 6?
No, I was planning on 6 before you said that.
Okay.
That's literally, oh my God.
I'll be honest, I'm banking on Treylon Burks not playing.
He might not play, but if he does play, so now it's, whose pick is it now?
It's actually Paul's turn.
Okay.
Yeah, because I used my, oh wait, no. It's my turn.
Didn't you just swap?
Yeah, that was for my 6th pick though, so I never filled in my 6th round yet.
Well, should you be able to pick right after you decided to grab a player that you wanted?
It was a fair trade.
It was a fair trade by your standards. Apparently, the mediator doesn't mean anything anymore.
Okay, fine. So Paul, then me, then Paul?
I feel like that's the most fair because you're basically getting 2 picks in a row, John, when you're in second. When you don't get the wraparound.
It's just, Marquise Brown and Treylon Burks, they're equals right now because of the trade. So okay. I didn't gain anyone on my team.
You didn't gain any. You did.
How? I gave up 6 or 8 points.
It's 2. You're using 2 things in a row.
All right, fine. Paul, then me, then Paul, then me, then Bob.
Yeah.
All right, fair.
All right. I'm going to go. Well, here, Bob, I'll actually leave this up to you because I'm going to swap one of these guys for Tyler Huntley.
Okay.
So would you prefer Deshaun or your boy Mike White?
You can't do that because you have to make a pick and then...
Right, I'll pick who you want.
No.
Why are you helping Bob out?
Yeah.
Bob's literally the leader. We should be taking him down.
I knew it. I knew you guys were fucking cahoots. I fucking knew it.
All right, I'll grab Deshaun Watson.
Wow. First, Paul grabs Njoku last week, and now he grabs Deshaun Watson. Paul, are the views on Deshaun Watson changing at all?
No, I'm literally about to give him to Bob, and then Bob can try and sleep soundly with 54 civil court cases on his fantasy lineup.
I'll sleep fine if he wins me this week.
All right. So then I'm up for the 6th round, and I'll go ahead and I got to grab a running back. So Gus Edwards is an immediate no. I wish A.J. Dillon was available. James Cook and Boston Scott, they are calling my name. They are absolutely calling my name. Boston Scott, the giant killer, he will score a touchdown. However, he was labeled the giant killer when he was like the RB2. Like it was like Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and like Corey Clement.
Corey Clement.
Yeah, but now Boston Scott is not seeing that many looks. Kenny Gainwell has really taken his job. So I'm going to go ahead and take James Cook against the Jets.
Okay. You like Cook more than Singletary? Or are
Quite honestly, didn't see him on the board. God damn it. But hey, pass catching, PPR, we talked about it in our podcast episode this week for What's in the Flex. And James Cook has arguably higher upside than David Singletary does. So now we're back to Paul.
Now we are back to Paul. Paul, what are you going to do, bro?
I'm going to swap Deshaun Watson for Tyler Huntley.
Oh,
wow. Quarterback for quarterback.
Okay.
I am going to see just how much faith you have in our Deshaun Watson. I think 4 points is fair.
I'll take 4.
I'll allow it.
Oh, excellent. Thanks, John. Thanks, John.
As the moderator, I get the final say.
Yeah, I didn't get the final say, though.
You said that's not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much. No, you said it's too much.
It's too much if he plays.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's let Bobby change that.
No, it's fine, dude. I get it. You guys are playing checkers. I'm just sitting in the corner playing chess by myself.
So we're at the beginning of the 7th round. Paul, how about before the last round you go over who's left?
All right, who's left? So Mike White is not going to be grabbed. We all have quarterbacks. He will carry over to next week. Tony Jones, depending on Ken Walker's status and the rest of that Seahawk backfield, he might never be picked, but he's still there now. Along with Devin Singletary, Boston Scott, A.J. Dillon is on a bye, so we will see him next week. And then Gus Edwards is still available. Tight end, John is left to choose between Evan Ingram and Foster Moreau, the latter in which will move on to next week. And then at wide receiver, we have Michael Gallup, Deebo Samuel, and Elijah Moore. Oh, and Jacoby Myers has been a frequent flyer in the green zone here last couple of weeks. We might have to look up when his expiration date is.
I cannot believe Deebo Samuel is going to be the last pick in the draft.
Dude, he's honestly been buns this year.
He got 12 points last week.
He's okay. He's been okay.
Yeah,
oh my God. I've been looking up stats in my half PPR league.
That's okay. You got Mike Evans. Mike Evans' PPR points to half PPR can't be that. He gets 3 receptions a game, so that's nothing. Garrett Wilson is fine. That's better for PPR. You're fine, dude. It doesn't matter.
So it's me now, right?
Yes.
All right. We just talked about him, and he's still on the board.
No, it's actually Paul's turn.
Because we swapped. All right, this is easy. I'm going to steal Pacheco.
Wow, that's rough because now Bob is forced to. Bob, you're allowed to move Zonovan Knight into your running back slot and throw someone into your flex.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bob.
I mean, I'm not surprised. You guys just reap off of my success. It's okay.
In the 7th pick.
That's like part of the game is like.
The whole game is just like picking shitty players, so no one wants your picks. Like
you have to grab guys who you're comfortable with having, but then also comfortable with stealing or swapping. Like
there needs to be some type of like this is fun, but there needs to be some type of.
Which is why I said if you're going to do a steal, if you're going to do a steal or a swap, it should be for that round or the previous. It shouldn't be like 4 rounds later like this.
We may have to go back to Paul's fucking thing.
Dude, that's what I've been saying from the beginning.
I digress. We digress. Is it my pick now?
Yeah, it is your pick. Do you want to move Zonovan Knight up to your running back slot?
Yeah, that goes without saying, I feel like. So I get 2 picks now, pretty much, right?
No, you get 1.
Yeah, you get 1, and then John, and then back to you.
And then Bob, yeah.
Okay, so Zonovan Knight's now in my running back slot because Isaiah Pacheco unceremoniously has been stolen from me once again, getting quality players taken from me. But it's fine. We push through. So now that none of you guys have the ability to take anyone from my team anymore because you can't draft your own quality players, I will draft Deebo Samuel.
Nice. All right, so he will go into your second wide receiver slot. And then it is my pick, and I have to get a tight end. I will end up getting Evan Ingram over Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau is going to go his second week without getting drafted.
He may have to be chalked next week.
I don't know, dude. Foster Moreau, I was on the fence of drafting over Evan Ingram, but it seems like Evan Ingram just has a higher ceiling. And am I crazy to say that the Jaguars have a better quarterback than the Raiders right now?
That's not crazy.
I don't think so either, my friend.
I think fantasy-wise, I definitely agree with you.
Yes, fantasy-wise. Thank you. That's a good catch. All right, so Bob, you have the final pick. Are you going to go with Michael Gallup here?
I'm concerned that the Texans are actually pretty good against wide receivers from a fantasy perspective. It's against the run where they get absolutely gashed. And Gallup, his first good game was last week. I don't feel great about him. I think I'm actually going to go a guy that's been sitting on the board for a couple weeks now.
No way. You're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go. He's been sitting on the board for a couple weeks now, and although the Patriots offense is very mediocre, like it or not, Jacoby Myers is the wide receiver 1 on that team, and he hasn't been terrible this year. So maybe not a lot of upside, but a safe-ish floor. So I'm going Jacoby Myers.
Really nice. That's really good. So that does it for our Week 14 draft. We had 2, 4, 5 players that were carried over, drafted this week. That would be Dak Prescott, Jeff Wilson, Bam Bam Knight, Treylon Burks, and Jacoby Myers. So we have quite the pool to fill in 2 weeks. And let's go over our teams now. Paul with Tyler Huntley, Isaiah Pacheco, a stolen Isaiah Pacheco, Jeff Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Travis Kelce, Treylon Burks. So Paul, you had a steal done to you, and you have done a steal to someone else. Which power-up do you think affected your team the most in a good way?
I think so. It's tough to say because if Treylon Burks plays, then I get him his regular points plus 6 points. That's huge. But I'm almost positive he's not going to play. We have seen multiple players with the same concussion protocol not play the next week. So I'm looking at just 8 points, which, isn't ideal, but that's not why you play the game. You don't play the game for your guys to get 8 points. So I think Pacheco was definitely the bigger move of the takeaways. I loved Pacheco, but as to Bob's point, I was afraid to draft him because I know he would be a prime steal or a prime takeaway, which would have then locked him into somebody else's team. So I think Pacheco, I know Denver's defense is pretty stout, but the Chiefs are just so much better. And the Chiefs heard the offseason talk the entire time about Russell Wilson and the Broncos winning the division and this and that. So I think it's going to be – I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think the game's going to be close at all. I think Pacheco's going to get a lot of the carries, a lot of the touches, maybe even get a touchdown for me.
So you feel like the Pacheco steal impacted your team better than the swap of Treylon Burks for Marquise Brown?
Yes, but only if Burks plays, and I think Burks scores more points than Pacheco with that additional 6 points.
Okay, very good. And Bob's team is looking like Deshaun Watson, Bam Bam Knight, Jamal Williams, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Mark Andrews, and Jacoby Myers, a surprise flex play. Bob, 2 weeks in a row not using a power-up. What is going on?
So I'm going to I don't want to let you guys in on. I was thinking about it, and there's actually a bright side to not using power-ups and letting you guys use them all on me. There is a little bit of a bright side, even though I do lose players that I pick first.
Interesting.
There is a bright side to it it's a little bit of a rationale in my head because I'm losing players that I'd rather have over other players. But there is a bright side to it, and I'm not going to say what it is. But aside from that, I feel, given the circumstances, getting 2 players taken from me, I feel pretty good about my team. Mark Andrews and Jamal Williams were my untouchables. I feel really good about them. Getting Deebo that late although he hasn't been the Deebo of last year, still been consistent in the Niners offense. Christian Kirk, solid. Zonovan Knight, my dark horse of the week. I get Deshaun Watson with a plus 4 points. And as I said, Joe Burrow is 0-4 career against the Browns. I think Deshaun Watson will have a better game this week. And Jacoby Myers, a little sleeper pick at the end. So I think given the circumstances, I feel really good about my plays. But the power-up thing, for me, it just doesn't really work. I can't not pick the best players on the board, hoping that you guys pick the guys that I want. Now I'm like, oh, I want that guy. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
I think that says a lot about Bob's faith in us drafting a good team, John. I think he's got zero faith that we draft good players.
Right. I agree.
But John, looking at your team, You went with the Tony Pollard, A.J. Brown as your untouchables. And then throughout the rest of your draft, was there anybody on your team that wasn't stolen or had a power-up used that you were in fear of losing?
No, because it would be Dak Prescott, James Cook, and Evan Ingram.
Oh, I thought you drafted Amari Cooper. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Then let's switch the question.
Okay.
Your 2 power-ups. Who are you feeling better about?
Amari Cooper versus Marquise Brown?
Yes.
Amari Cooper, for sure. I think that they're going to connect. They've had Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper have had a whole extra week of practice, whole extra week of reps, and Amari Cooper is going to have a bounce-back game because I believe he had 8 PPR points last week. I don't think that's a season low, but it's definitely ranked in one of the top 3, top 5 maybe. So Amari Cooper's due for at least a touchdown and some yards. Going back to your other question, I was fearful a little bit that Dak Prescott will get stolen because I think he is probably the best quarterback on the board this week. But if I would have just gotten Deshaun Watson instead. So I think Deshaun Watson could also be the best quarterback on the board this week.
I'm going to die on this hill. I think that Watson, dude, these Bengals, I'm a man, I'll admit when I'm wrong. And I know a couple weeks ago, I was pretty critical on Zach Taylor's play calling. I was pretty critical on the Bengals as an organization. But that team is playing overall really good football. And I think they're just going to handle Deshaun Watson. I don't like any Browns players this week or really moving forward unless I see something crazy. But that's just me.
Joe Burrow's 0-4 against them in his career.
I know, and that all changes.
Yeah, I do think the Bengals will win this week. I also think that the Browns will be down, so they're going to have to pass. So I really like the Amari Cooper.
They've been saying for 2 years. I guess it's got to happen at some point, though. But I do actually think that you were talking about Dak, John. The thing that scares me with Dak is that it's just going to be a Zeke and Pollard game. I actually think Tyler Huntley has the chance to be the best quarterback of this group this week. I am definitely looking for a Deshaun Watson bounce back game, divisional game as well. So anytime you make predictions on a divisional game, there's a good chance it's going to go the opposite because they're divisional games.
Wow, another week of divisional games. It really gets like that towards the end of the season. I love it.
Yeah,
every quarterback besides the Cowboys have a divisional matchup.
Oh, yeah, wow. Shit.
So Devin Singletary goes undrafted. That's a little crazy. That's probably my bad, but we'll see.
I think James Cook overtakes that backfield.
We'll see. It's only been 1 week.
I wasn't touching Singletary, and I know, John, you mentioned that you didn't see him, but I still liked Cook over Singletary this week.
I think the Bills' backfield is just so difficult to predict. Singletary definitely isn't going anywhere, and I think it'll be a split if anything. And I'd be shocked if James Cook starts to actually get the goal line carries and the red zone touches. That would surprise me. If he does, then I would be ready to say that James Cook has overtaken the backfield. But until I see him start to get the red zone looks and goal line carries and stuff like that, then I'm not ready to say it yet. Devin Singletary, I think, is still safe for now. But we'll see. They're going up against a tough Jets defense this week.
That's true.
All right, boys. That was a good draft. It's fun. All right, so we will not actually be recording next week. John's going on vacation again. John loves his vacations. That's awesome, though. Hope you have a great time.
Thank you.
But me and Paul will be on TikTok doing our usual thing. So look out for those. No recording again next week. Be ready for us on our What's in the Flex coming out on Friday. Thanks, as always, for listening. We are the Eye Test, a fantasy football podcast on Apple and Spotify. We are on TikTok, the Eye Test Pod 1. We're on YouTube and Instagram also. So check us out on those platforms because we post on all your lovely social media apps. As always, thanks again for listening. Peace.